parents. I hope you are having a wonderful day. Hey, today I want to talk to you a little bit about emotional intelligence. So that's like this big buzzword right now, but obviously it's always been around. I guess we're just starting to become more aware of people who don't have a very high emotional intelligence. I'm going to call it EQ. So I want to help you understand why it's really important for you to teach your children certain things so that they can have very, very, very good emotional intelligence. So research has shown that a person with a high IQ can get a very good job, but the person with like an average IQ but a very high EQ can keep the job and also move on to be promoted. So you might be asking yourself, okay, what really is emotional intelligence? Great question. So what it really is, it's the ability to recognize and manage your emotions as well as the emotions of other people around you. So this dad was in the other day, which is what kind of triggered this video. And he's a very nice person, but he really struggles with connecting with his family. And he's kind of stoic and unintentionally self-centered. Like, I wouldn't say that he's a selfish person. He just doesn't realize how much he focuses on himself and how he really doesn't ask a lot of questions, with his kids and even his wife. So he really struggles in relationships. So it can be a huge barrier to, you having a better relationship with your kids. So I really implore you to do a few things, okay? So people with a high emotional intelligence are going to ask a lot of questions. They're going to be very empathetic. They are going to have really high self-reflection. And they also are going to be very good at managing their own emotions instead of just dumping it on everyone else. A person with a high emotional intelligence is going to recognize when someone around them isn't doing very well. And they're going to be able to ask good questions that I guess make the other person feel like they really care and they really do want to know. So we all know when somebody says, hey, how you doing? And we give the pat answer, I'm fine, I'm good, how are you? But when a person says, so how are you really doing? See how different that is? So, we need to develop that with our kids. We also need to be able to give them feedback when they are not having emotional intelligence themselves. So that means that we need to really talk to them about how they're interacting with other people, what they need to do to kind of shift and change and read people. So we had this mom and daughter that we were really good friends with a long time ago, and her daughter had a very low emotional intelligence, and the mom was not very good at helping her child understand things like, hey, you need to recognize when people want to go, or when it's time for us to leave, or when they're frustrated, or when you just need to learn how to read people. And to try to help her with that. And instead of helping her with it, she just kind of ignored it. And the daughter had a really hard time with relationships in school. She was ostracized as early as probably the 6th grade because she wasn't very good at that. She'd constantly talk about herself. She was constantly just kind of doing her own thing, but she wanted to be with friends. She just didn't know how to relate to them. She didn't know how to do this give and take. So she really struggled. And as she got older, other people were kind of giving her feedback. But the sad thing is that her parents could have done that for her at a young age and helped her understand how to read people and to give them examples. So we have lots of opportunities when we're interacting with people, when we leave that situation, to be like, man, she was really feeling down, or I can tell that she's really having a hard time. And your kids might be kind of going, well, how do you tell? And talking about that, talking about their body language, talking about maybe how they're just not really willing to relate to other people because they're having such a hard time. Some people really get it. I would say I have an unusually high EQ just because I'm such a people person. So I understand that not everybody is going to be like me and several other people that I can think of off the top of my head who have very high emotional intelligence. What I'm saying is that it's really important for you to increase yours and then teach your children about it so that they can have more successful relationships everywhere. It just makes their life so much better. We've all met a person that is unintentionally self-absorbed, okay? We've met people that are incredibly selfish and want to be that way. And how fun is that to be around that person? Not very. We've been around people who, just unload their emotions on us, like you feel like you just been vomited on. And I guess because hairdressers, we work with so many people, and we have, I guess, a lot of opportunity for people to share their story with us and what's going on in their life. We have like lots of experience dealing with people, and I've had kids sit in my chair who could not have a conversation with me. And I've had kids who could sit in my chair and they were, extremely, extremely well-versed in people and common sense. And, they could have a conversation. They could, this give and take relationship. You could tell they get it. So some people come with it. Some people need some help with it. So if you're a person that maybe is curious how high your emotional intelligence is, start asking people around you that you trust that are going to tell you the truth, and preface it with, I really want you to tell me the truth. I'm not going to be upset with you. Do you feel like I'm pretty good at asking questions, having two-way conversations? Do you feel like I'm self-absorbed? Do you think I have good self-reflection? Do you think that I pick up on emotions of other people and respond accordingly? And let them answer the question. And if they say, yeah, no, you're not good at any of that, then, you need to really work at it. And some people really do have to work at it. Now, I'm not going to say that one gender is better than another. I've seen women that have an extremely low EQ, and I've seen men have a very high EQ. It really is, how bad do you want to be better at this? And how valuable do you think it will be? And I'm just going to tell you, very, 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 very valuable. If you can really connect with people, the sky's the limit. In every field of anything, we just do so much better if we can do better with people. So when you have children and you have teenagers and you're not doing very well with this, maybe you need to look in the mirror and say, okay, do I ask good questions? Am I a good listener? Do I always make it about me? Am I good at having, this two-way conversation where I'm really trying to understand without being offended? Am I good at giving feedback and receiving feedback? Am I fun to be around? Are my emotions one of those things that just ruins the whole dynamics of the house? Sometimes we really have to ask ourselves those hard questions so that we can do better. Because like I said, your children have an extremely well-tuned hypocrite meter. And when they see you behaving in a way that is counterproductive, they're going to be like, I just don't respect what you have to say to me because of the way you run your life. Okay? We want our kids to respect us. We want them to look at us and go, I really want to grow up to be like that. Now, maybe they don't want to grow up and be us. That's fantastic. We're not making clones. But the character of us should be something that our kids are proud of. Okay? So I just want to offer that to you. I think that it's overlooked, especially in the society where our kids are in front of a screen all the time. We're in front of a screen. We're in front of social media. We're not really interacting with people as much as we used to. So guys, put the screen down. It doesn't matter if they're computer or the phone, and have discussion. Like we have No Technology Sunday. We have a rule, or I have a rule in my house, that if we are all in the same room, then we are not in front of a screen unless someone says, hey, I really need to get some work done. And then we all kind of just go, okay, then I'll take this opportunity to get some work done as well. We do not have anything up like when we're eating. We are sitting at the table having conversation. In the car, the same way. We are not looking at screens. Nobody has headphones in. We're having discussion, and giving feedback. Like they give me feedback, I give them feedback. Sometimes I have a daughter that is very chatty, and I was extremely chatty when I was a kid, and I'm still chatty, but I'm pretty good at reading people, and so sometimes she needs feedback with that. Like, she might be hanging out at a friend's house too long, and I'm like, don't wear out your welcome. Just be really, really sensitive to the fact that people don't want you at their house for a whole day. Okay? And then I have another daughter who is really, really sensitive to other people to the point where she wants to manage their emotions. Well, managing their emotions can get really muddy. Okay, so responding to their emotions and being like, hey, are you doing okay? Or, you know, kind of just trying to understand is one thing, but trying to be codependent and be an enabler is another thing. So I've had to give her feedback on that. And she laughs and she's like, yeah, you got me there. So, you know, it's just this constant conversation. So I really encourage you to do that with your kids, because I can't even tell you how much that will benefit them. And it will help your relationship as well, now and forever, okay? So if you have any questions about that, shoot me a message, or you can send me an email, Teresa@fortheloveofteenagers.com. I just love you all, and thank you for being great parents to your teenagers. Talk to you soon.